So, does 4 days of missed school appropriate for school attendance policies? Truancy, really. That's what I want to talk about. Anybody else experiencing that? Let me give you a breakdown of what's going on in this fucking town. So, first fucking week of school, my son gets suspended. Suspended for 3 days. They classified that a suspension as an unexcused absence, even though they know where they are. They know where the child is because they, suspended them. Okay, so he missed 3 days right there. Already on the, the truancy thing, 3 days in. And then he gets sick later on down the road. Missed a day. I call him, let him know that he wasn't coming to school because he was sick. And they labeled that as unexcused. Unbeknownst to me at the time. Not until later. Then he was sick 2 more times, making a total of 3 sick days so far in the first month of school. And then his mom calls. Like a couple weeks later down the road, middle of the week, and asked if I could get Seth off school for Friday so she could come pick him up so they can, spend the weekend together. I was like, yeah, I can probably do that. He hasn't missed 14 days of school. He's not truant. And I don't see why going on vacation would be labeled as truant or unexcused. So I call on Friday to let the school know that his mother was coming to pick him up and that he wouldn't be attending school today. And that very day, the principal shows up. Needless to say, his mother did not pick him up. But the principal shows up with the sheriff to serve me truancy papers. Because that was day 7. That was the 7th day that he had labeled him unexcused. They didn't even offer any sort of services or program to, help get him to school on time or every day or anything. Nothing. Just straight, here's your truancy papers. I find that odd. Also, all of that aside, I find it odd that my child missed 4 days of school, I guess you could say, on his own, I guess you can say it was his fault on the 4 days. It was up to him whether he went to school on these 4 days that he had missed. And I went to jail. I've had 3 court dates. Still going to court currently. And now they're complaining that he's not doing anything in class. Isn't that the school? The school's supposed to help him with work, that he gets it done and is able to get it done. I didn't know we had to go to court for this. So, does 4 days of missed school appropriate for the parent going to jail? The child maybe getting taken from the home over 4 days of missed school. That is it. What the fuck is going on? How is this morally accepted by anybody? They had a panel of like 5 fucking people in there, all like hella working against us, just saying like they don't even want to know. They don't even know what the school labeled him truant. Didn't say anything about whether the father called them in or nothing. Just says, oh, he's truant. They don't ask you anything. They just say that you're truant. Case closed. Now you're going to court a bunch of times and here's a bunch of fines and shit like that. How does that fucking make him go to school better? How does that help him go to school? How does that stop the anxiety and the stress that children have when they go to school? How does this help? I don't even know what to do anymore.